Hello everyone, welcome to Laurie's Little Studio. I'm Laurie and today I'm designing an egg apron. As some of you may know, I have chickens. I have 7 chickens. So I decided I need an apron because when I'm cleaning out their coop, I need an apron to cover my clothes. I do it every day, but it's still messy. I don't feel like I'm getting dirty, but I want an apron to wear out there. And I thought an apron that I could put eggs in would be the perfect combination. I decided these are pockets right here. This 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I could put 7, 8, 9, and I could put 1 up here, but that's not practical. And I think I could put 2 eggs in 1 pocket if I design them correctly. But my chickens don't lay all 6 eggs or all 5 eggs or all 7 eggs at the same time. So typically when I go out there in the morning to clean and feed, there might be 1. And then throughout the rest of the day, I'll get the rest of the eggs. So I'm thinking I need just 6. But this is usually the area where I get straw. This is kind of the design that I want. And I found this apron that I had. I think I made this one for my girls one year for Christmas. I love ruffles and frilly things, but it wouldn't be practical. And I can just see straw getting caught in these ruffles and it would have to constantly be in the laundry. So I'm gonna go with a more utilitarian style. I pulled all this fabric out. This is just leftover pieces of fabric I have. The first thing I need to do is see how much fabric, I'm gonna say view H requires. And it looks like it is 7/8 of a yard, about over a yard of this. We'll assume that's gonna be the body of the apron. Now this pattern, it is McCall's Fashion Accessories and it is 2947. And it did come with an iron-on transfer, I think. So what I'm doing is looking for the pieces for view H. Oh. If you've never watched one of my videos before, welcome. And I also want to point out, I always save big pieces of pattern paper like this because sometimes I have to repair a pattern and I like to just keep those in here. Then I mark on the outside of the pattern envelope that it has extra pattern paper. And when I've used that pattern paper, when it's all gone, I'll just scratch it out on the front of the pattern so I know that it no longer has extra pattern paper. The pattern instructions will have the layout and what pattern pieces you need. I'll show you real quick. So down here are the pattern numbers, and it'll be in a different place on every pattern. This is your layout. So for view H, right here, apron H, it says use piece 13. So that's really all I have to look for, except there's a contrast for apron H, and it will tell me that I need to use the pocket and the binding piece, and those are pieces 16 and 17. In the pattern, they tell you to finish off the pockets first. So the first page of instructions has all of this business on the pockets. And here is view H. But since I'm not doing the pockets that come with this pattern, what I'm going to do is cut out view H apron, and then that way I'll be able to see if I can fit these little egg pockets on my apron. I need to have the apron in front of me, and then I can kind of play with where those pockets will go. View H instructions start right here. It's view F, G, or H. So it's this one, and this one. And then this is the bias binding that goes all the way around the top edge, up here, here. These are the ties, and this is all one piece right here along the top, the side, under the arm, and then you tie it. This is a Stitch and Sparkle fabric that I bought on Amazon, and when you buy it off the bolt, it's cut right there. So let's say you went to Joann and you bought some fabric, they would be cutting on that line right there. So this is the way that it came to me. Pattern to be placed face down. Okay. Okay, and I'm going to make mine a little larger, so I'm pulling it away from the fold a little bit. If it's too big, it won't be a problem because it'll just wrap further around the back. And it will affect the amount of binding that I need to make. To iron this crease out of it before I put markings on it. My hens lay eggs that could easily fit in this box, and I figure this is probably where it's going to go under my arm on both sides. So we don't really want to put a pocket under our arm because I could just see me crushing it. So I need to draw a line. This is erasable ink. So I marked it, we'll say, at the top of this line right here. So at the top of this line right here and straight down. Okay. So there to there, I have room. Sorry, scissors, I hate to keep using you. That's about right there. I need to cut out my pockets. Alright, there's the pockets. So this is the top edge, this is the bottom edge. And I can't decide, I was thinking about it last night, I could just zigzag rather than turn under so I'd have a little bit more room. Because, I mean, this is a barn apron, so I think that's what I'll do. Okay, so it's looking like with this size, I'm going to be able to get 4, maybe 5. When I think about it, the chickens do not lay all 6 eggs at the same time. Sometimes I go out there in the morning and I get 1 egg, and then in the afternoon I get 3, and then that evening I get 2. So, yep, I think that's going to be plenty. So 1 in the morning, 2 or 3 in the afternoon. I never get 4 all at once. Of course, now that I've said that, that'll probably be the next thing that happens. The pockets in the apron have been pressed, and what I'm planning to do, because I want to make this as simple as possible, is I'm going to fold under and just sort of finger press this down. And then I'm going to zigzag over the top. And I'm going to do that on both sides and the hem. So I put yellow bobbin thread in because the daisies have that yellow gold center. I don't even know if you can see it. You might be able to. And it's just a little decorative touch. But you have to make sure that you're stitching on the side that you want it to show. So I'll have to flip it over and start stitching from the hem so I can make sure that the bobbin thread is on the front side. So the sides and the hem are complete. This is hemmed, and the sides from the hem up to the armhole edge are done. So before I put the binding on, I think I'll go ahead and decide about the pockets. I'm going to stitch it down, and then I'm going to check it and see if it feels like a good size for this pocket. And if it doesn't, then we'll just have to come up with different pockets. I've decided to make the pockets wonky because that just appeals to me. I started to straighten this one out, and then I thought, you know what, I like it wonky. So this one is going to be facing this way, and this one probably this way. That one's upside down. So probably like that, or more like, because I know the eggs won't fall out. Because I'm using only fabric I have, I'm not buying any new fabric for this project, I'm just going to use this for the trim. I realize that they're really not fabrics that go together, but I feel like this edge, it's just a little edge, won't be glaringly awful. And I happen to like both of these fabrics, so I'm going to cut my binding from this fabric right here because I only have to bind the armholes, make ties, so it has to be long enough. The next thing you want to do, of course, when you're cutting it out, make sure that you cut out or mark where your notches are, because that's what you have to line up. And they line up wonky. So either mark a piece of fabric where these notches are or cut them out. Just make sure you can see where they are. And the next thing we'll do is mark these lines. I don't always make bias binding this way, but just in case you run across it in a pattern, it's fine. You have a pattern, it's easy to see, easy to work with. I'm going to go press these wrinkles out and I'll be right back. Okay, so you've got your piece of fabric cut out for your binding right here, and I marked my notch here and here. I think you can see those. You also need to decide or figure out how wide these lines are apart. These are 3 1/8. And you can mark them if you want to. And then you take this notch right here and you match it up with this notch right here, like so. And you pin these two pieces of fabric where those notches match up. You're going to think, but they're not even. It will all make sense very shortly. So now you've got them right sides together, and we're going to stitch. Now it's weird looking, right? Like you can't lay it flat. It's not gonna cooperate. But where your straight line is drawn, and mine's right here, I don't know if you can see it, you just cut. Okay, so now that we've cut our binding, we're going to go to the ironing board and we need to press under 3/4 of an inch on both long edges. So all the way down this long piece of binding. Fold under this, and then we'll fold under this, and we'll press it. I'm probably going to fold it in half and then press the outer edges to the center, because I'm so bad at visualizing 3/4 of an inch on this side and 3/4 of an inch on this side. This side looks too short to me. But if I fold it in half first and I get that line down the center, then I can just fold it to that fold line and I know that it will be even. Once we've got that done, I think we cut it in half. Yeah, okay. So first, wrong sides together, fold this down, press the whole thing, and then cut the length in half so you have 2 long pieces. Once you have the pieces pressed, I need to cut this in half. Try not to stretch it. So we're just gonna cut this in half. So we have 2 pieces, and next I'm going to stitch the top down. I don't know if you can tell, but it kind of curves in right here. So you see where that kind of, and that kind of, you're just going to fold it down at that point right there. And that will be how the top edge is finished. That has been stitched down, but I also want to do a different stitch across the top edge. So this is stitched along the lower edge right here, and I want to do another stitch across the top edge. There's that stitch. It's fairly invisible, but I will take a picture of which stitch I'm doing and pop it up on the screen right there. Now I'm going to need to take care of my thread issue because clearly I don't have enough bobbin thread. But what I want to do is I'm going to fold down the top edge, but I want to fold it down. I'm going to open this out and fold it down and then fold this in like so. It literally does not tell you. So you have to decide how long you want the neckties to go up and how long you want the ties. It just says pin this same edge to the apron. So it doesn't tell you where to start. And I'm going to do the same thing to the other side. I'm kind of thinking I'm going to start this here and then I might just make a loop. So I have some blue thread and I'm not too particular about the type of thread that it is. I'm going to stitch forward, stitch backward, stitch forward to lock my stitches at the top of the apron up here as I'm stitching the binding down. And there's the other side. Okay, so I'm going to take my tape measure and I'm going to measure 30. I'll be able to get it over my head, but it'll be too low. So I think I'll do 28 inches of binding. So what I need to do, so I've got it on that line right there on my grid. Okay, so now I need 28 inches of this. Both ends with an X. So I'm going to stitch it like an X. And there's the X. I don't know if you can see it. And it's done. Here it is. As cute as can be. And it's time for me to go take care of the chickens. So I'm going to wear this. It's been several weeks since I finished the video that you just watched. The egg apron works beautifully, And because it's been so cold and so dark, it's January of 2025, my hens have not really been laying that many eggs. Today I got 5, but they're not coming all at the same time. So the apron is working just beautifully. But in the meantime, I have this project right here. My daughter, Candice, gave me this fabric, which is a polished cotton, and some lining fabric for it. I think it's rayon. And this pattern, 1873 Cynthia Rowley, which is a simplicity pattern. And she would like view B, but I'm going to add this little belt that view C, I think that's view C, has. Yeah, it is. So this is the one that we'll be working on in my next video. I hope you enjoyed the egg apron. It is wonderful. And I'm looking forward to using some of my scrap fabric that I'm going to piece together and make that into an apron. And that'll be a lot of fun. I might use that apron when I'm baking. We'll see. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.